we did this, you kind of said, do this one's good, this one's not good, or do you want me to just do them all at this point?
Yeah, I'd like to just try to do them all that way on the exam. If I run into a problem that's similar, I can just kind of.
Okay, so of course the first question is like really loaded with things that it's asking you to do. So I'm going to snip. If you're comfortable, I'm going to leave that window open, and I'm going to
Yeah.
switch sharing to the, this workspace. And if you can see my screen, you'll see that
Yep.
I've snipped this question in.
Yep. Got it.
All right, so the derivative here, the derivative of this function up here, it's all power rule. That's this one here, 6t squared minus 90t plus 300. And then s prime of 1 means to put 1 into this equation so that you're setting t equal to 1. So it's 6 times 1 squared minus 90 times 1 plus 300. Um,
Right.
how much detail do you want here? Like, you're going to get a number, and that number goes in here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to try to just get every bit of the answers, and if we can't do it all, maybe if you're available tomorrow, we could finish as well. But
So what I'm asking is, do you want these calculated values?
oh yeah.
You want me to, because that slows me down to actually go and get the numbers, but I can certainly do it.
Um. Well, I guess if you're just writing this out, then I guess I mean I'll know how to get
Yeah,
where and
like
how.
this is 216. So this is 216 for this one. And the units come from here. It's thousands of dollars per month. So there's a drop down here. That's thousands of dollars per month.
Right.
Okay, and it's based on whatever's there because it could be millions of dollars per year. For this s prime of 3, I'll just do it this way. You're going t equals 3, and it's 6 times 3 squared minus 90 times 3 plus 300 equals, and that's 84. And it's the same units. So this is the same units. This is the same units each time. And so 84, goes there. And then 5, we're letting t equals 5. So it's 6 times 5 squared minus 90 times 5 plus 300.
Right. Yeah. So this one's pretty easy. You're just kind of plugging those in.
So that gets to be 0, and that's 0, and so on. Then part B, which I will snip in now, part B is asking for the second derivative. I know all of them aren't like this where they're multiple steps, but this one just happens to be. So the derivative was 6t squared minus 90t plus 300. The second derivative is using power rule again. So 2 times 6, that's 12t minus 90, and that's what goes in there. S double prime of 1, you're setting t equal to 1, so it's 12 times 1 minus 90. That's a negative 78. And then in the drop down there, the answer in the drop down is it's the um, same units as the previous one, so it's thousands of dollars per month, but there's one little addition, and that's the squared. Like
Okay.
that's the extra part, and all three of those are this because all three of them are derivatives. So for this second thing that I've circled, you're setting t equal to 3, so it's 12 times 3 minus 90, which is 36 minus 90. That's what is that? Minus 54. And then t equals 5. 12 times 5 minus 90 equals minus 30.
Right.
Part C is this like um, uh, it's got a bunch of answers here, and I'm gonna fill them in. Um, um, wait. Okay. Um, growth is slowing down. After 3 months, sales are increasing, and sorry, I'm filling these in so that I can give them
Oh
to
yeah,
you,
you're fine.
so that I can snip it in and it'll make sense. And growth is slowing down. Sales are after 5 months. Sales are, well, they're zero. Um, yeah. You may want to check these later on. Like this will give you the full. When I snip this in here, it'll give you the full picture here. Um, but you can just check these
Right.
um,
Okay.
when you're. All right. So move on to question two. I'll snip that in. Um, let me. I'm gonna make this slightly easier to snip for me. Okay, so question two here, it says the company is producing new products. Find the total time required for a new worker to produce units 1 through 10, units 40 through 50. Um, so the total time required, I believe, is the integral of this. This one doesn't have a. Um, some, have you seen this problem before?
I've not.
Okay, let me. Because it doesn't look familiar to me, and I don't remember being on the other stuff we did. Um, Let me just check one of the answers before
Yeah, for sure. No
I
worries.
try to explain it.
No worries.
So I'm just going to Wolfram, and I'm going to do the part A. Oh, this won't grade it until the end, will it?
No, but I mean the grade doesn't really count.
Well,
But yeah,
I was hoping to
yeah,
get
you
the
won't be
answer
able to
here.
see. I don't think.
All right. Let's come. So okay, to produce units 1 through 10. So I believe what they're asking you to do is the integral from 1 to 10, 2 plus 0.4 1 over x dx. And this you can put in your calculator. Do you know how to do that?
I do not.
Okay. It would be good to know how to do that. It's probably not a good use of our time for that. I can just send you a YouTube video that shows you how to punch it in.
Okay.
I mean, there's plenty of online calculators that do this, but your calculator will do this that you're allowed to use in this class. And then for 40 through 50, it's the same thing here. It's just the integral from 40 to 50, 2 plus 0.4 1 over x dx. We're using a TI 83 or
84.
TI 84 integral in. So we can find a nice video. Um, yeah, this one looks reasonable. So we'll just paste that in here.
Sweet.
All right. Um, all right. So this one, finally, we're getting something reasonable here. I feel like I'm not doing a very good job of explaining any of this to you, but this one we'll be able to do completely here.
Okay.
All right, so the demand for new computers given by this function, P of x equals all of this. So the revenue function here, the revenue function is x times P of x. So in your problem, that's x times 60 minus 5 natural log of x. So you can simplify if you want 60x minus 5x natural log of x. The marginal revenue is the derivative of that. So the derivative of this first thing, r prime of x, is 60 minus, and then this is product rule here. So it's first 5x times the derivative of the second, which is 1 over x, plus the second times the derivative of the first. Derivative of 5x is 5. So this reduces to 60 minus 5 natural log of x, which reduces to 55 minus 5 natural log of x. And that's what they're looking for there.
Okay.
The last part, it says how many units will be sold if the price that consumers are willing to pay is 50. So they're telling you the price, um, P of X is the price. So they're telling you that P of X is 40. And they're saying set 40 equal to 60 minus 5 natural log of X. I'm just getting that from there.
Okay.
And then you just solve this thing. So you can you subtract 60 from both sides, so negative 20 equals minus 5 natural log of x. Divide by minus 5, so you get 4 equals natural log of x. And then you get e to the fourth equals x. That gives you some number, and you're rounding to the nearest whole number as needed on that.
Okay. Sweet.
Always let me know if you need more explanation, since there's no way for me to read your body language.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is
I'm just gonna write this down really quick. I
I'm
mean,
sending I send this to you as a PDF at the end. I don't know if I mentioned that, and the screen sharing video as
okay,
well.
great. Yeah, that would be awesome actually. So I'll just try to understand what you're saying then instead
Yeah,
of write this all down.
yeah. I know you're really you normally you would do most of these on your own, and this format doesn't lend itself to that for us.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
so
honestly, yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I'm not gonna really be able to understand everything at the end of the day. So just writing it down and having like this note is kind of the only thing that I.
Well, like when you get this problem, the only thing that's gonna be different is the 60 and the 5. So if you
Right.
know where the 60 went and where the 5 went, you
Yeah.
just follow that.
Yeah. And so yeah, having all that work will definitely help to look
Yeah,
back
yeah.
on.
Okay, this one is asking about continuous at 30. 30 is the number that's here and here. So essentially what you do is you set x equal to 30 in both cases. So 1.4 times 30 equals 1.25 times 30 plus k. I'm just grabbing these two things
Right.
and setting them equal. So notice the only variable is k.
Right.
So you
Right.
solve for k here. So 1.4 times 30. I don't know what that is right offhand. So with that, that's 42. 42 equals 1.25 times 30. That's 37.5 plus k. So k is going to equal, I guess, 4.5. And that's what it's looking for.
Sweet.
All right. We've got question 5. Um, all right. Evaluate this integral. So this integral is undoing of the derivative, and if you can't if you don't remember, the integral of x to the n is x to the n plus 1 over n plus 1. So whatever the exponent is here, you just add 1 to it and put it down here. So
Okay.
this becomes 4x cubed over 3 minus 3. There is a 1 there, so it becomes 3x squared over 2. This 5, you put an x with it.
Okay.
Okay, and then you put the 3 in first, and then the minus 2. So it's 4 thirds times 3 cubed minus, that's this 3 we're putting in, minus 3 halves times 3 squared plus 5 times 3 minus, and then you do the same thing, but you put the lower bound in. So it's 4 thirds times minus 2 squared minus 3 halves times minus 2. I'm sorry, that's a cubed squared plus 5 times minus 2. So the probably the biggest issue is getting this into your calculator correctly. If you can do it, you can do a math, enter, enter, and that'll give you a
All right.
fractional answer. I'm gonna shortcut all this, and I'm just gonna give you the final answer. Um, It ends up being 385 over 6.
Sweet.
And I really probably should have done that earlier for these other ones because you'll want to check that you did these right. So let me just give you these values as well. Okay. So that those are those answers there. You'll see how to do that on your calculator. And we're moving on to the next question here. Question 6. All right. So find the equilibrium point. That's figuring out where d of x equals s of x. So you set these two equations equal to each other. Minus 7 over 10x plus 19 equals 1/5 x plus 1. And you solve. So I mean, this one, if you had to do this by hand, which I guess I'm trying to think of how you might do this. It's slow. I mean, you really need to clear the fraction here. So you multiply everything by 10. So it gives you minus 7x plus 190 equals 2x plus 10. And then if we move some stuff around, we get 9x on this side and 180 on this side. So x equals 20. So that's the first point. We still need the y. The y you get from putting it back into one of these equations. We'll go 1/5 times 20 plus 1. So 1/5 of 20 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So there's your equilibrium point. 20 comma 5 is your answer there. Now on to consumer surpluses. I mean, this is a really good question, but it's very complicated. So you've taken an econ class, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The that point we just found is right there, 20 comma 5.
Right.
This is the consumer surplus, and this is the producer surplus.
Right.
Okay, but we can actually find it. So the consumer surplus is the integral of the function that's downward sloping. And I'm stalling because I can't remember which one it is. It's the d of x minus your price, your equilibrium price. Okay, and you go from 0 to the quantity, which you might see it differently in class, but these are the most relevant. This is the quantity. This is the price. So your consumer surplus is the integral from 0 to 20. Your d of x function was minus 7 over 10x. Why can't I remember this? Plus 19 minus the price, which is 5. And this you'll do in your calculator because it says to type an integer or a decimal. That means that, like, usually that means you can get away with it. Whenever it says a fraction, that's where you got to be careful to do
Right.
it correctly. So let me give you the answer here in case you you want to compare. So this ends up being 140 when you do it in your calculator. The producer surplus, the producer surplus is the integral from 0 to the quantity again, the price minus the other function s of x. So the bounds of the integral are always the same. This time though, it's 1/5 x. I'm sorry, it's the price. The price was 5 minus, in parentheses, 1/5 x plus 1 dx. And again, you're going to do that in your calculator.
Okay.
Let me say that here, calculator. So you really want to watch that video or one like it to
Right.
do that. Um, Let me get the answer here. This is 40. Okay, we're on to 7. What's nice is there are enough problems here that are, I don't know if you need a certain grade, but there's enough problems here that I think you can replicate.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't know, usually you do need a good grade in these things, but like this one's not too bad. This one, um, I can explain to you how to do this without actually you knowing how to do it.
great.
So
That sounds right up my alley.
so this problem, the answer is it's the natural log absolute value of 8 plus 4x. Okay, plus c, but then there's one little piece for it. This 4 out front, because it matches this 4, you would put a 4 there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you don't need to put anything there. If they're different, then there's an issue. So let me write it correctly. So this 4 comes here over whatever number is there comes here, and you'll
Mhm.
see that this reduces to just natural log absolute value 8 plus 4x
Right. Okay.
plus c. And that 8 plus 4x just comes from the bottom there. If you could use Wolfram, I mean, you could get most of this correct, or Mathway or whatever else people are
Yeah,
using.
it's tricky because they watch me. I was gonna ask if I don't know,
Uh,
maybe there would be some way I could like take a video of like the
pe- pe-
screen and
yeah,
send
people
it to
do a
you.
lot of things to get help, and I be happy to help. If you can find a way, I just need to know in advance
Yeah.
so that I'm available. So this one is it's a power rule again. Integral x to the n. So the x to the n becomes x to the n plus 1 over n plus 1. So in this case, it's x cubed over 3, and then that 1/5 stays with it. So we get 1 over 15 x cubed, but you have to evaluate it from a to b, which means that you have to put b in first. So it's 1 over 15 b cubed, okay, minus 1 over 15 a cubed.
Okay.
And that's it.
Great.
That's 8 points out of 229.
Jeez.
Jeez. I could help a lot of you guys pass this class if I had this exam in advance, and I could create a video on every one of these questions and show you where to put the numbers in, and you could get it
Yeah,
all.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is my teacher's first year teaching, and he's the worst teacher I've ever had.
All right, so the accumulated future value and accumulated present value. I think I need to look these up because I don't remember the formulas for them. I
Yeah, no
had a
worries.
minute. Accumulated future value. Oh, I got it. I got a reference for this. Um, Come on, load. I'm trying to get the formulas. It's not. It's not. Um, all right. So the future value is the integral from 0 to t f of t e to the r t minus t. Have you seen something like that in your class?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, so the future value is you're going to do this for 20 years because that's how long it says. Your F of T is you're getting $110,000 per year. So that's $110,000 per year. Your interest rate is 7.9%. So that's 0.072. Your T is the 20 minus T.
Okay.
And again, this is a calculator thing that you're doing here. And that's your future value. I don't really understand part B. Um, um, the thinking he might not live 20 years negotiates a flat sum. What is the cumulative present value of the continuous stream of income? What is that amount? Um, I would need to look at an example for that. But let me at least give you this number so you can check it on your calculator later on.
Okay.
10,000 e to the 0.072 from, what are we going from, 0 to 20? Actually, I should just check this out in Chegg. This will be there. Oh yeah, this doesn't do a good job of rounding this. It's a pretty large sum. It's 400. It's 4,920,510. And let me just check here. They shortcut this. Um, so the accumulated present value, they use a different formula for Part B than I thought they would use. They say that um, it's the present value is the salary over the interest rate 1 minus e to the RT. So in your case, it's 110,000 over 0.072, 1 minus, it's minus r, minus 0.072 times 20. That one, there's no integral in that one. It's just what it is.
Okay.
Um, I see. It is an integral. They're just shortcutting it. I'm sorry. I don't feel like this is very helpful, but I'll keep going unless you
That's
tell.
fine. I mean, I'm so far from understanding these.
Well, that's why I worry. Like, am I helping you out here? Because I ultimately do want to
Oh,
help you.
definitely. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Like I'll be able to print this out, or I mean, anything helps.
Yeah. So, like, this should at least help you know whether your answers are in the right order of magnitude, which is what this is only about a million, or you can get 5 million over 20 years.
Right. Okay.
And I hate this expression, low hanging fruit, but that's not, that problem there is not one I would study.
Yeah.
Unless you got really comfortable with where to put the numbers into your calculator, then I would do it. But some of these other ones are much easier to figure out what to put where and and
Right.
and get some answers out of. So we're up to 10. A coffee company has found that the marginal cost in dollars per pound. Okay, find the total cost of roasting 180 pounds. So that's 0 to 180, the integral from 0 to 180 of minus 0.028x plus 8.75. So all you're doing is putting this in your calculator. That's why that video, and there's if you don't like that guy, in that video. There's a ton of other ones to find, but you got to learn how to do an integral in your calculator.
Okay.
I've given you enough here that you should be able to do these and check that you're able to get the right number. The thing I'm using doesn't round well, so you might round to different numbers in this. Like this one rounded to 0.4, it might be 0.39 or something. But you can like the only thing that's going to change in your exam is that number and these equations. But it's the same thing. Like that number's there, the all of that goes in there, and you still put it in your calculator and go.
Okay.
You can do that. You absolutely can do that. So I don't want you to feel like there's this is an impossible situation you're in. All right.
Well, yeah, that makes me feel
Maybe
better.
it still feels that way.
I mean, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. All right. Office machine is purchased for 70. Okay. So they give you the V of T here, and they want to know V of 3. So V of 3 means this means to use the original function. So we're going to do that. That's V of 3 equals 7,700. I'm getting that from up here. 0.6 to the power of 3. So we're going to get that number, whatever that is. And that is 1663.2. That means after 3 years, we'll see what the drop downs are here. Salvage value is, and then V of $3. Okay.
Okay.
It's weird. That's what it is. So now V prime of 3 means you have to take the derivative. So V prime is 7,700 0.6 t natural log of 0.6. So if you don't need to know anything except that these numbers, 7,700 is that number, zero point 0.6 is the number inside there, and it's always natural log of whatever that number is. Like it's just putting the numbers in the same place. 0.6 to the power of 3, natural log of 0.6. So let me get that number to you. And that is negative 849.61. It's supposed to be negative. That's this number right here, minus 849.61. After 3 years, the salvage value is decreasing because it's going down, is changing by, it says is changing by V prime of $3 per year.
Okay.
And these will always be the same because all they're going to do is change the numbers up here in this equation for you. Oh my gosh, this one's awful. Um, I think this is one I like last time was like, well, let's not do this. We'll do
I
it.
feel like this guy picks like the craziest. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, okay. V of 0. V of 0 means to put 0 into this function. So V of 0 equals 30 minus 25 times 0 squared over 0 plus 3 squared. And we're rounding. Whenever it tells you to round, that means calculator. Put that in your
Right.
calculator every time. And so let me do that. Does this thing make you find a derivative? And it does, but it doesn't actually calculate. Okay. T equals 0. 30 minus. All right. So that ends up being 30. And then let's see what the drop downs are. Months. So the answer here is months, and it matches that value right there. So whatever that is, that's goes in there.
Okay.
The next one asks you to find V of 5, which is again just a calculator thing here. I'm going to put 5 in, so it ends up being 20.23, and it's months again. V of 30 is 9.34 months. V of 70 7.01. All right, then you have to find the derivative. That's not ideal for you, but
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna have to do here. So um, the derivative is the derivative of 30 is zero. So you're taking the derivative of this thing right here.
Right.
There's a negative out front. It's the bottom function t plus 3 squared times the derivative of the top. The derivative of 25t squared is 50t. It's power rule minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, which is um, t plus 3. Oops. T plus 3 times 2 all over t plus 3 to the power of 4. Okay, and then the maximum value of that thing, which is what it asks for in the next part here. Actually, let me get caught up to you. None of these graphs look right. Okay. Sorry. Just,
That's fine.
I start analyzing these questions, and that's not what we're here to do. Let me snip this in because I come on. There it is. Okay. So this is all like you could put all this in for part B, and then the maximum value of V of t, it's always going to be V of 0, which is whatever you found in part A, which happens to be 30. Yeah, 30. So it's the answer from part A goes in there. The graph is always going to be the one. Well, like, I guess they give you a couple options here. So it's never going to be this one, and it's not going to be this one. It's going to be either B or C, and it's going to be the one that actually touches right there. So it's always going to be that one that kind of, see how this one on the left just goes up forever,
Yeah.
and that's the one you're looking for, and
Okay.
that would always be the same. Does there seem to be a value which V of t will never fall? Okay, so let me snip that in. It's asking for this horizontal line. It's asking for like whatever the horizontal line is. In the graph there, you can see this horizontal line is what's referring to. Does there seem to be a value below which V of t will never fall? Yeah, it's that line right there. It's that line, the dashed one there. Um, and I guess it's about 5, so that looks reasonable, just based on the axes and the scale. Um, maybe that's not a good way to do that. Okay. And but wait, there's more. Explain your answer in the previous step. Uh, Snipping it in. There will always be some goods on the shelves, and the store always has stock value of at least $5,000. So the V, whatever the units of V are, which V is the value of the inventory.
Hmm.
That's why, because these are the wrong units. Wrong unit, wrong unit. Stupid answer. So it has to be A because it's got the right units of money in it.
Okay. All right.
So that's your shortcut to knowing how to do that part.
Right.
Oh boy. Um, this one. You're not gonna like this one.
I'm not looking at any of these ones.
This one doesn't have a it doesn't have really a nice like way of doing it. But
Yeah, it looks pretty ugly already.
yeah, d prime of x. I'm gonna rewrite the it's minus 1400x, 25 minus x squared to the minus 1/2 power. So the solution to this is you integrate this, and the way you integrate it is you're gonna get 25 minus x squared. You're just gonna bring that down. You're gonna put a 1/2 here. You're gonna put over 1/2 here. Okay, and this is the tricky part. There's this chain rule thing going on that you don't necessarily care about. But this produces a minus 2x out here. So it's you can bring this down minus 1400x, but you have to divide this by minus 2x. And when you simplify all this, you will actually get the right answer. This produces 700. 700 over 1/2 is 1400. Oh, that's not, that actually works out. So it ends up being, I guess the shortcut is it's that number positive 25 minus x squared to the 1/2 power plus c, but we're not done. We have to find the value of c based on the fact that we know this given information in the question. If you look up here, it says that when d is 11,000, when x is $3. So what you're going to do is you're going to put 11,000 in for d of x, and you're putting in 3 for x. So this actually produces a nice number. This is 4. 4 times 14,000 is 5,600. 1,400 equals 11,000. You subtract it over. C ends up equaling, what is that? 5,400. So your d of x is 1,400. 25 minus x squared to the 1/2 power plus 5,400. Let me see if I can find a couple of quick ones here.
Wait, how did you get 5,400?
Just subtracting that to the other side.
Subtracting the 5,600 by
Yes.
11,000?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Okay. Like here's one. I mean, this is why these things are so ridiculous. Like this is weighted the same as something we already did, and this one I could teach a sixth grader how to do this without really knowing what has to happen here. The integral x to the n is x to the n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. So this is x to the fourth because 3 goes to 4 over
Mhm.
4 plus c.
Okay.
And that was 15. I skipped a couple
Okay.
on that. Let me see. This is a problem that I worry about that your instructor will not use, because you can just click on the answer and know what it is. Um, I believe this is the answer, but I would just double check that.
Right. Okay.
But this is like one of those where if it is exactly the same, you can start counting points and be like, all right, well, I can get that, I can get that, I can get that,
Right.
and so on. Yeah, we really need another session to finish these off properly,
Yeah.
and I'll leave
Um,
that up to you. I don't have anything scheduled for tomorrow. Is tomorrow Friday? Friday, right?
yeah.
If you want something, just text me and I'll throw it up on the website and you can book it.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I'll text you. I might need, so I'm thinking like maybe we do another session and then kind of try to uh get the rest of those done if we can.
okay,
And then when I actually do take the test which will be around 12:30, maybe I could try to slip in like a video of some of the questions and send them to you. I don't know if that would
that's fine.
work,
Is
but
that tomorrow?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, it's got to be good enough for me to see. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
main issue.
definitely. Definitely. Um well, I'll text you with like the time, uh kind of like the time slot just so I know you know.
Yeah, if you know, that would be very very helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
So I'm going to send you this as a PDF. You'll get the screen recording. I actually have a bunch of lessons tonight, so I really apologize. I'm not going to get this
Oh
to
yeah,
you
no worries.
until at least another hour. It might take slightly longer than that, but that's my goal.
No worries. Great. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna print those out
Okay,
and just use those. But yeah, I'll definitely text you the details and everything um,
sounds good.
for tomorrow. Thanks again,
All right.
Matthew.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for scheduling. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye.
Have a good one.